Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's try to understand how to find GCD of two given numbers. So GCD stands for greatest common division, or they can also ask HCF. HCF meaning highest common factor. So let's try to see by taking two inputs. So 12 and 20. Let's see what are the factors of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 are the factors of 12. Similarly for 20, 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20 are the factors. Among these, if you observe, what are the common factors? 1 to 4 in 12 and similarly 1 to 4 in 20. So among these two, what is the highest common factor? So 4 is the highest common factor. So the output for 12 and 20, the answer would be 4. So how you are supposed to check the highest common factor over here? So do you need to traverse until 12 or do you need to go until 20? Let's try to break down this. So for 12, these are the factors. For 20, these are the factors. So what I would say is, so we go until the smallest number of these two values. So why do we need to go only until the value 12? We only need to go until the value 12 because even though if there are any factors of 20 after 12, so those are not common for 12, right? So then there is no need to check the factors which are after 12. So now what is our first point? We need to find the minimum of these two numbers. So we are not sure what order they might give. If they say all the time the first number is smaller than the second number, that's fine, but you are not sure, right? So next time they can give 21st and 12 later. So what we'll try to do, we'll try to find the smallest number of 12 and 20. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to default assume the minimum number to be the first one. So what I'm assuming, I'm all the time assuming that the first number is the minimum. But is that true all the time? No. So how would you know? If you say second number is smaller than the first one, so then I will change my value to second as the minimum. So but what I'm trying to do over here is, let's say there are two boxes. So box one, similar to box one, let me also try to create one more box. So we don't know what are the values inside that. So first box, I'll try to keep the value 12. The second box, I'll try to keep the value 20. Okay, so let's say now we are supposed to find the value of minimum. So what I'm trying to initially assume, all the time I'm assuming box 1 is having the value of minimum. But how do you know? So we know only when this respect to value from box 2, so which is greater than the value of box 1, then we can say that the first box is fine. So what if let's say, so 12 is present in the second box and 20 is present in the first box. So then what would I still assume? I am assuming minimum value to 20. But is this true now? No. So what you do, you check, is the value 12 smaller than 20? Yes. As this condition got satisfied, now what I will try to do, I'll assume my minimum to box 2. Similarly, box 1, box 2, I'm assuming number 1 as well as number 2. So now let's try to first find the minimum, then traverse until the minimum. Wherever both numbers are divisible with the common factor, we'll try to update them. So let's try to go to Visual Studio Code. So I have created a file called GCD of two numbers.py. So let's take two numbers from the user, int of input, so followed by num2 equals to int of input. So after these two numbers are done, so let's try to find the minimum. I'm assuming minimum to number 1 if my number 2 is smaller than number 1. So now my minimum would be changed to num2. So now my default assumption of GCD would be 1. So then what I will try to do, I'll start from directly 2, because already I know that default GCD for any two numbers would be 1. So even though there are prime numbers, the GCD would be 1. So I'll start from 2. I'll traverse until minimum. So I'll also include the value minimum, guys. Why I need to include the value minimum? Let's say if I take the example 12 and 24. So 12 is the common factor for 12 and 24, right? So I'll go until the minimum. So going until minimum. So then when you would say it is a common factor, I would say it is a common factor when my I value is giving the reminder to 0 for number 1 as well as for number 2 even. So num1 modulus I double equal to 0 and num2 modulus I double equal to 0. So in this case, what would I would say? I would say my GCD equal to I. So first time if you see GCD is 1. So next you try to take the value 2. So 12 modulus 2 is 0 as well as 20 modulus 2 is also 0. Now my GCD is updated to 2. Similarly, when you take I value to 3, so 12 mod 3 is 0, but 20 modulus 3, it's not 0. You get the reminder to 2, so 2 is not equal to 0. So this condition got failed. So then next you go for I value to 4, 12 mod 4, 0, yes, and 20 modulus 4 also 0. Similarly, you go 5, 6, 7, 8 until 12, so on. There are no other condition where our num1 as well as num2 gets satisfied. So our highest common factor would be 4. So just simply print out the value of GCD at last. So let's try to run this code. All right, let's give the number 12 as well as 20. So we got the output to 4. Let's try to reverse these two and check. So 20 followed by 12. Still the answer is 4. Maybe I'll try to check one more example. So 12 followed by 24. So the answer is 12. So let's try to see what is the time complexity of this program. So time complexity would be, so order of minimum of num1 comma num2. But let's say if both numbers are same, can I assume the time complexity to be order of n? So if I say 24, 24, minimum is also same 24, right? So in the worst case, I would say order of n is our time complexity. So that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.